Richard, just one moment. I need just a few seconds for this to wind up.
Okay.
And then I'll turn it over, and everything looks green. I think that looks good. Everything looks great. The meeting is yours, Mr. Huber. Let me know if you need anything.
Okay, thank you. With that, I will call the Milford Township Zoning Board of Appeals meeting to order. We will bypass the normal process because of the length of the agenda, and we will go directly to V20-003. Do I hear a motion to hear that request?
So moved.
Second.
Have a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed? No, none. So we will proceed. So with that, I don't know who's representing James and Linda Marsh, but if you would give us a short summation of the reason for your request, please speak.
I will, thank you. Again, I appreciate it. I know you have a busy agenda, so I'll try and keep this brief. I'd like to just real briefly introduce you to my clients. My name is Frank Mancuso. I'm an attorney. I represent James and Linda Marsh, who are the property owners. This is James Marsh to my right, his daughter Amanda, and Linda. I don't know if we can see Linda across the table. And due to social distancing, I took my mask off to make sure I'm speaking away from everyone. So I'm not going to go through, the application, every part of it. What I'd like to do is just kind of hit some of the highlights. The reason for our request, first of all, is because of, the standard of the variance, as everyone knows, is practical difficulty or undue hardship. My clients have the misfortune of, number one, Mrs. Marsh, Linda Marsh, having COPD, being on oxygen 24 hours a day and not being able to go upstairs. Unfortunately, Mrs. Marsh lives in a two-story home. It's a 3-bedroom home, although 2 of the 3 bedrooms are on the 2nd floor. Currently, Linda Marsh and her husband live in the 1st floor bedroom. Their daughter, Amanda, sleeps on the couch on the 1st floor. Sadly, Amanda's condition is dermatosis. I'm going to try and say this the best I can. Dermatomyositis, or DMS. And DMS by itself is problematic, but the bigger problem here is Amanda has severe calcification. She was diagnosed at age 8. Then they found out she actually had the disease since she was 5. When she was diagnosed, she was not expected to live very long. She has surpassed her life expectancy. Unfortunately, however, the disease continues to worsen. And it's a calcification that causes the issue. It presents mobility issues, soreness, difficulty moving, which makes it difficult or impossible for Amanda to go up the stairs. So the issue here, the problem is we have a house with 1 floor, 1st floor bedroom, and 2 people who aren't able to navigate up the stairs to go to the other 2 bedrooms. Also, the house is, because of its the way it's situated, it's on 2 acres, which should sound like plenty of room to do an addition. However, because of the location of the septic and the stream, there is no room to do any addition on the home. So
I'm sorry, say that again, please.
I said, and because of the I guess uniqueness of the home is it's situated on just over a 2-acre parcel, but where the home is located on the parcel, due to the location of the septic system and due to the location of the stream that's adjacent to the home, there's no room to add on to the home. It's not possible. So my clients are left with a home that has 1 bedroom on the 1st floor and 2 people who need a 1st floor bedroom due to severe mobility issues. So that is our difficulty. The what my clients have, the practical difficulty or undue hardship, what my clients have found a solution to this is park model RV. It was in the materials that in the packet that everyone should have received. And it's a self-contained home. And it's such that it doesn't require any connection to utilities. It's, it has solar power, which will be roof panels. It has a rainwater collection system and a water filtration system and a septic incineration system. So again, no need to connect to any utilities. The request is, of course, to allow the park model RV to be placed on the parcel. There's an area that was flagged off. It was marked on the exhibit 2, and it's in such an area where it'll be screened by trees and brush. It sits down low, so it shouldn't be very visible from the road. In fact, the surveyor came out, made exactly that comment when the surveyor was told where the unit would be located. The going through just again briefly in the sections of the ordinance that apply here, the condition was certainly not self-created, and it's not an economic condition. Again, it's due to the characteristic of the property and my clients and their daughter's medical condition. But just to hit on some of the high points, there would be no nuisance. There's no dust, odor, noise, light, etc. Again, the unit is self-contained. We've added the condition that if, which we happily offered, I shouldn't say happily, but we practically offered, is that when Amanda's time comes, the unit would be removed. So it would be temporary. But just going through some of the other sections of section 32-66 should have no effect on traffic because there's no more people moving there than are there now.
We have, Frank, for brevity, we've got the application. So is there anything more from a summary standpoint before we get into the specifics that you'd like us to know?
Just that when I asked my clients, it's been 6 months since we applied, and due to COVID, we understand that today is the day, and unfortunately we had to wait this long, but I did verify that Amanda's condition continues to worsen, is not improving. So again, this is sad, and there's really nowhere else for her to go. She can't go upstairs. It's either sleep on the couch, which is horribly inconvenient and uncomfortable, and not very healthy for her, or this solution. So that's, I think that's really all I have. The rest is contained in our application. I would be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, very good. We'll put you on hold for a minute, Frank. And at this time, by the way, I do have a letter from a resident within the neighborhood regarding this issue. But before I get to that, I will first do a call to the public for anybody that wishes to comment on this issue.
Mr. Huber, there are a couple callers that are on the line. If you would like to speak, please press *9 on your keypad, and that will raise your virtual hand and alert us that you would like to speak. Again, if you would like to speak on this topic, press *9 on your keypad to alert us that you would like to speak. Give them just a moment here, Mr. Huber. Not seeing any hands raised at this time, Mr. Huber.
Okay, if there are no comments from the public, I will close the public discussion portion of the meeting. But as a part of this, I will read the following letter. This is from Joe and Jill Pinsky at 928 Bishop. And the letter reads as follows. We are submitting this correspondence for the purpose of opposing the potential approval by the zoning board of a zoning variance relative to the Marsh's request for a trailer to be placed on their property for their daughter and granddaughter to live in, even on a temporary basis. While we previously submitted a complaint to the township, we have further comments upon review of the Marsh's application for non-use variance. In reviewing the application submitted and the reasons outlining the request for a variance, we first want to acknowledge that it is very unfortunate that the Marsh's daughter, Amanda, suffers from a physical condition and is in need of a place to live. Our opinion is not personal in nature. We have never met Amanda and do not wish her or any of the Marsh's ill will. The fact of the matter is the zoning codes exist for a reason. It is common knowledge that placing a trailer on property zoned otherwise, such as RIS in this case, is unacceptable due to the very fact that such placement does have an effect on property values on neighboring properties, including ours. In addition, the trailer only benefits the Marshes and not any neighboring properties, and their request for a variance has nothing to do with the unique physical situation of their particular property, but it is only due to their unique personal or economic hardship. While the trailer is referred to as a park model RV in the application, that could lead one to believe it is a small recreational vehicle. This is a trailer that was delivered with a semi-truck. It is not small or mobile. The Marshes do not, in fact, have the type of RV typically used for camping, which RV is already parked across the street from our house next to a vacant shed. If the statement that the trailer would be temporary in nature is meant to help gain the approval or quiet the neighbors, we still disagree with the temporary placement. The application states that the Marshes would remove the trailer upon the death of their daughter, Amanda. While case studies, articles, and photos were submitted with the application regarding Amanda's condition, there is nothing from her personal doctor in support of her condition and or life expectancy. It is again awkward to speak of someone's life expectancy, but pulling on the heartstrings does not change the fact that the temporary placement of the trailer could in fact be for decades. No one knows or will be able to speak to the length of temporary placement for a fact. While the trailer is meant to be self-contained and moved to the side of the Marsh's house, it is not there at this time. It is sitting across the street from our house since January 23rd, 2020. If the trailer is moved closer to the side of the Marsh's house, the statement that the trees and brush provide screening is completely inaccurate. The trailer is clearly visible no matter what location it is in and does not fit in our neighborhood. While the Marshes may say they will install items such as solar power, water recycling treatment system, a rain harvest system, and a waste incinerator, and that no utilities will be needed, we have no way of knowing if those installations have already taken place or will take place in the future. Human waste and storage are a concern. Extra garbage and debris that are a natural occurrence in any household are a concern. Additional vehicles parked in the street is and has been an ongoing concern. Finally, if this variance is granted, the precedent is set. What happens the next time Marsh family member is in need? Is the trailer going to be moved back in? Would it be removed in the first place if another family member requires the use of the trailer on a temporary basis? There is nothing personal meant in statement of our opposition to the trailer being a part of the subdivision. It affects our property value and does not belong there, even for undetermined temporary length of time. The trailer should be moved to property zoned accordingly for its use and enjoyment. Thank you for your consideration. With that, we'll go back to Mr. Mancuso for the board to ask questions regarding this application for a variance.
Richard, I'd like to start out. I have quite a few different questions. Mr. Mancuso, number one, is the unit that you want to install there, and we'll call it a trailer because I'm unsure. I know it's a park model. Is it licensed as an RV or is it considered a manufactured home?
Well, it's neither. It's not licensed. It's not meant to drive down the road. The manufacturer doesn't consider it a trailer. It's these are commonly called tiny homes, that sort of thing. You know, would have skirting. It's the aesthetics of I think most of the board, if not all the board, has seen the unit. It's consistent with the appearance of the house and other surrounding homes.
Okay, so it's not classified as a recreational vehicle, an RV, and it's not classified as a true manufactured home, although tiny homes are considered manufactured homes made for placement in a permanent location. Am I correct on that?
It's this unit, as I understand it, as it has been explained by the manufacturer, is capable of being moved, and it's not a permanent and would never be a permanent structure. Although it would not look, it would be screened in such a way and skirted so that it would not, it's not something that it's going to be hooked up to and moved. It literally would stay there until Amanda passes away.
Right, but it's in a manufactured housing community. The homes are movable, but they take special equipment and the vehicles to do it. So as the letter said that, it was moved in by a semi, which would indicate more that it's a manufactured home or a mobile home, or if you want to call it a park model or a small home, tiny home. That's what I'm assuming it is, and not a RV. Is that correct?
It is not an RV.
Okay. Second question I have, I've known a number of people from my years on the fire department and a lot of friends that have suffered with cancer or whatever, and the people have converted a den or a living room into a temporary bedroom facility. Has the Mancusos or the Marshes rather looked at converting one of their rooms to put it in you can put it in a hospital bed or a regular bed? There's a number of options available.
And again, with the configuration of the first floor, it's not a big floor plan, not a very large house. There's no real practical way to do that. As I say, I mean, there's just, so to answer your question, no, it's not really, there's not a practical option to do that. I wish there were.
I wish we would have a floor plan of the house to see exactly how the house is laid out, because like I say, I've known people that's even taken a living room area, and even if it's just putting up temporary curtains for somebody to put a bed in and sleep at night, they're still on the first floor and can use the bathrooms and everything else as any other person would. They don't have to sleep on a couch, is what I'm saying. There are other ways to do it.
I just want to follow up, Dale, if I can. Am I interrupting you? Do you have more questions?
No, that's it. Go ahead, Richard.
I want to follow up on Dale's point before I get into my questions. I have reviewed the house plan, and as you go in the front door, there is a foyer and please correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Mancuso, to the right is a kitchen, and beyond that is a dining room. Is that correct?
It's one long area. And it's a narrow area.
Okay, so regarding that area, to me, there is no reason why, following Mr. Wilsey's comments, that a hospital bed could be set up and serve the need for Amanda. And I want to back up a minute just to make sure we're all clear, is when the zoning board is looking at variance requests, one of the things that we need to make sure of is that all viable options have been looked at. And my first question in that regard is, why couldn't, in that long room beyond the kitchen, you could, as you face the house, why couldn't you knock out the wall to the right and make an extension on the house?
Again, am I muted? No, I'm not. My understanding is that
The neighbors are too close.
I'm sorry.
The neighbors are too
Oh,
close.
too close to the neighbors, and maybe.
Wait a minute. You have that huge lot next that's a part of you, and you've got the trailer stored down there. There's no neighbor on the right side of the house as you face the house.
It's up in the air.
Oh, it's up, it's my client tells it, oh, yes, because, and again, you'd have to go look at the topography of the property. That area is, the creek comes by there, and it's been a while since I've been there, but my client is telling me that that part is up high. And I guess if this is, if the decision hinges on this issue, I might ask, I'd have to confer with my clients, that we ask to table this matter, and we can provide more information.
Well, I have looked at the topography map, and as you look at the topography lines regarding the particular side of the house and back of the house behind this room that I'm talking about, it goes from 988 to 990 to 992. Not all in that area, it varies, but what I'm saying here is there's minimal difference in footage that would prevent you, no great slope from extending that house. You could put a slab down and extend. And that would be an option. Additionally, if there's the option of converting the existing garage to make it a bedroom. And to the bigger point, why wouldn't, if the need to go upstairs is the issue, why wouldn't you buy a chairlift and install it? I have one of these in my own house. I am very familiar with autoimmune diseases. My wife has that. And for her, I have not only a chairlift to take her from one level of the house to another, but I also have a lift in my garage to get her up that lift that is required for garage due to gases and things. So why wouldn't, if nothing else, a chairlift resolve the issue?
Say 2.5 feet.
The stair, and again, what I am told is the staircase is narrow, would not be wide enough for a chairlift.
Staircase is standard width by requirement from zoning, and it's probably no different than mine. And like I said, chairlift accommodates it very nicely.
Tim,
I have a fundamental question, if I may.
Go ahead, Neil.
No, this is Keith.
Or I'm sorry, Keith, excuse me.
The zoning ordinance is based on the uniqueness of the property. And while it is a very unfortunate situation on the medical condition doesn't make this property unique or raise any issues at all with respect to the ability of the property to meet the zoning requirements. And so I am absolutely struggling with why it is that we're talking about putting trailers into a parcel that's not required and doing something on a piece of property where there is nothing unique or difficult with the use of the property as it exists for the purposes for which it is rezoned. So the hardships and the difficulties don't go to the individual. It goes to the ability to meet the ordinance of the property and the requirements of the ordinance for the property. And I haven't heard anything that says that that's an issue here.
If I may, the difficulty is, again, because of the location of the septic and the stream and where the house sits on the property, the elevations and so forth, it's, the adding an addition to the house is not an option, is what we know.
I'd like to clarify. I had myself muted. So when I did my site visit, I did meet Amanda, and she explained to me that the actual unit has RV right on it. So she says it is an RV.
Well, my clients say it's an RV, and the manufacturer calls it an RV. When I say it's not the type of RV that you think of, that you put a key into it and drive it away, or it's meant, in the intention for this use is to have it in that location and not move it once it's there. And one of the things that was brought up in the letter was that where it's currently located, and I would say that was put there. It's allowed by ordinance. It was, unfortunately, my clients thought that they didn't know that they would need a variance to have this unit. That's why it was brought in. So where it sits was kind of the compromise pending this hearing. That is not where it's will not move back to that location if the variance is granted.
Well, based on 2 acres, would they be allowed to keep both of those trailers there, using the word trailer? Because the other one belongs to them also, I'm assuming?
Where
The one next to the shed? Is this Champion on it?
the
It's a motorhome.
Oh, that is a motorhome. So yes, that would still be there.
To make, just to clarify this issue, if the park RV were to be located in the location that the applicants are requesting, the marshes, is it not true that it would be placed on blocks, the trailer would be removed, and it would become, so to speak, a permanent structure?
It will not become a permanent structure.
No, but would it be placed on blocks, the trailer removed?
No, it would not be placed on blocks.
It would remain on the trailer?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. What device does Amanda use to help mobility in the house?
She, nothing as far as I know. She's.
So she's capable of walking around on a level floor with no assistance.
Surgeries, I've had walkers, I've had wheelchairs, I've had bracelets.
Yeah. Depending on, what happens is, she's had to have, numerous surgeries. These continue because the calcification is not something that stops. It progresses. And so she has surgeries, she uses walkers, she uses wheelchairs, or a wheelchair from time to time, but not all of the time.
Does she drive?
Yes, she does.
So she's capable of mobility outside the house?
Limited mobility, yes.
Okay. She's currently under treatment. How old is Amanda? Excuse me for asking that, but you told me that she acquired this, was diagnosed at age 8, and she's how old now?
She's 38.
38. Okay. All right. Is there a reason in your application that you did, regarding, I hate to touch this subject, but again, in my wife's situation, she has also lived past the expectation with medical treatment. And I'm just surprised that regarding life expectancy and the particulars of her disease, there was not a comment from her attending physician.
So her physician is essentially maintaining her, best they can. She was diagnosed at an early age. When she was diagnosed, she was severely ill. It almost passed. And there's no treatment. So there's no, she hasn't, all her physician does is manage, all they're doing now is just managing the condition.
I assume with what drugs, like prednisone as an example?
She's tried all those treatments and none of them work. So again, the disease continues to progress.
Okay.
And, not everybody with this disease, is terminal, and not everybody with this disease, it's a calcification, which continues to progress. Again, the surgeries help for a period of time, and then it advances again, but it continuously gets worse and worse and worse.
Okay.
So
Let me, if I can, Mr. Mancuso, so why isn't a chairlift a viable option?
Yes, sir.
Can I just, my clients want to talk just for a second, provide their input. Can I just mute for just a moment, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Tim, can I ask you a question while we're waiting?
Sure.
So the zoning board of appeals book has accessory structures and accessory buildings separately, and the explanation of what they are. In the advertisement to the public, in the section 32572-14, it pertains to buildings, but the word structures was used in the paragraph. Does that matter?
I don't know, Linda, that they interchange so much in the ordinance, accessory structures, accessory buildings, permanent structures, permanent building. There's the words are, I don't want to say interchangeable. Definitions would help.
Well, in the where it says the item number 14, it doesn't use the word structure, it just uses the word buildings. But in the paragraph where it's advertised, it uses the word structures, and it may not mean anything, but I just wanted to point it out.
That's that heading in the first part of that is how our ordinance reads. It doesn't mention buildings in that 32-572.
But in
It's the-
paragraph 14, it says buildings. It's got 14 on it.
Yeah, I'm going to look at, 1 second, I got my ordinance book. (32-572) says accessory buildings, structures, and swimming pools.
What about item number 14, though? That's what's referenced on the first page of the advertisement.
Accessory buildings,
Yeah.
32-572 says accessory buildings, the beginning of that section in the ordinance. Item 14 says accessory building. Did I not put accessory building?
No, it says structure.
It says buildings and structures.
Well, Yeah, it says accessory buildings and structures. Ordinance requires that in no instance shall an accessory structure. And I just went back to the item number 14. And then it says that applicant proposes the placement of a building.
They,
Probably doesn't matter.
I don't know, Linda.
What's, Tim, I don't have my ordinance book in front of me. What is the lead into the entire section of 196?
Accessory buildings and structures.
So that is the appropriate title for that section. Now we're talking
Yeah.
about a subsection within that section, and the language now can talk about what's in that subsection. There's nothing wrong with the way this is described.
Okay.
Okay, I've consulted with my clients, and what we would request for the board is to table this request while we get more information on the possibility of, just verifying again with as far as the addition. I don't remember who one of the board members brought up the issue that they felt that there may be a way to bump out, put a partial bump out on the house. I know it's not, we can't add a bedroom because the septic won't, we've been informed by Mr. Brandt that it won't, the house the septic system will not handle an additional bedroom. It won't meet the specs. But we would like to look into the other options that were mentioned. I don't believe I'm not sure that they're available to us, but we're willing to explore those. The chairlift was mentioned and the bump out.
Well, the bump out, also conversion of the dining room or conversion of the garage.
Of the garage, yeah.
I had a couple of questions before we move any further. Just how many bedrooms and bathrooms are on the first floor, and how many bedrooms and bathrooms are on the second floor? I don't have the diagram of the home with me.
Upstairs, one bathroom.
There's 2 bedrooms upstairs, 1 bathroom, and 1 bedroom downstairs. Is it 2 baths or 1.5 baths? 1.5 baths on the first floor.
How difficult would it be to have 2.5 baths on the first floor?
Timothy Grant said it would not, my septic would not support another bathroom.
We were advised that the septic system would not support an additional bathroom.
Let me rephrase the question. I apologize. I wasn't clear. If we don't have a bathroom upstairs and they're all in the downstairs, how difficult or how logistically difficult would that be?
There is a bathroom on the first or on the second floor.
Yeah, but if there were no more bathroom is my point. How, we don't have a bathroom on the first floor. I'm just being hypothetical here. And then we move everything down to the first floor. Just curious.
Well, again, it's probably not feasible because if we eliminated the bathroom on the first floor,
Second floor.
is a small bath. I'm sorry, eliminate the bathroom on the second floor, we'd be left with 1 bathroom, 1 full bath in the whole house.
Would it be difficult to add a second on the first floor at that point?
Again, it's the same question of where would we put it? There's really no place for a second bathroom.
Mr. Mancuso, I think it would really be.
Right. That's what I wanted. I
think it would really be helpful to the board if we could get a floor plan diagram of the first and second floor along with the room measurements. And it would give us a better understanding and a greater idea of what could be done or what may be able to be done.
Okay, I will provide that. Be happy to provide that.
Also, the topography outside and in the location of the creek that was referenced, because again, it appears it would be possible based on the minimal slopage around this large room. I don't know if you want to call it a dining room or living room or great room, but it appears it could be pushed out the back or the side to the right. And issues that would say that that's not possible, it would you need to describe to the board. And then, of course, obviously, the besides the issue with the chairlift, the ability to convert a space for a hospital bed in that large room, or to convert the garage on a temporary basis, are the issues that the board is probing here.
Okay.
And in addition, I don't want to lose sight of the fact that Mr. Teresco has pointed out that the special circumstances go to the land and not to the individual. And I just want to emphasize that point as well.
Okay, thank you.
So, Mr. Mancuso, are you requesting a delay in this process to gather the information that we have talked about?
We are, Mr. Huber.
Okay. Do I hear a motion from the board to?
I move to approve tabling 20V003 until the petitioner is able to provide the information requested during this meeting, whether it's the next meeting or the meeting following, or hearing following, sorry.
For the purpose of clarification, Mr. Mancuso, when do you think you could have that information available? By the next meeting?
I would hope so. The submission for the next meeting would be when the deadline?
Tim, do you, what is our submission deadline?
I don't know the date of that meeting. Let me see here.
Let me check.
Mr. Mancuso, while they're checking real quick, if you check with somebody as far as doing a bump.
October 14th.
Yeah, I would say by the second, first or second of October, or have the information in, I could have it to you following week early. That would give you 6 days to look at it or so.
Okay, Mr. Mancuso, is that timeline acceptable to you?
My clients have said yes, it is.
Okay, Neil, Dale, I'm sorry, you were asking a question. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Mancuso, if you could, and your clients also provide, if you look at doing an addition to the house and it's not practical, a letter from a builder, designer, or an architect stating such, and also if the conversion of the garage or another room is not applicable, if it can't be done, again, by an architect or a builder, please provide any kind of information on that too.
With their supporting rationale and reasons, not just an opinion that says it can't be done.
Exactly.
Okay, Keith, did you have a question? No.
No.
All right, we have a motion on the floor, which I believe was seconded by Mr. Klink, to postpone or table this issue until the next meeting. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Roll call.
Oh,
Roll call,
sorry.
Dick.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Before you do the roll call, who was the second on the motion? Because I caught Mr.
Ed Klink.
I made the motion, Dick.
So I will support the
Second.
motion.
I'll second.
Either
Now
one.
we have-
So we do
Okay,
have
roll
2
call.
seconds.
Roll call. Linda,
Aye.
Dale,
Aye.
Patty? I didn't hear you, Patty.
Aye.
Thank you.
You're
Neil,
welcome.
Aye.
Ed? Well,
Aye.
obviously, yeah, Keith
Aye.
and myself, aye. Okay, the issue is tabled for the next meeting based on the timeline that we have discussed. Thank you very
Thank
much, Mr. Mancuso.
And thank you all for your consideration.
With that, we will move to I submit a motion for going to V20-005. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Okay, so we will go to, as soon as I get my paperwork here. Ugh. Robert Beagle and Norma Jean Caskey, Hillside Drive, are they present?
Yes.
Okay, and if you would please give us a short synopsis of why you are making this application for a variance, please.
Well, basically, I went online during COVID and I researched everything, and I believed that as long as the building was under 200 square feet, that we could have it in our backyard. And I thought that was considered our backyard because our house completely faces the lake, all the doors, everything. There's no doors on the road side of the home at all. So then when we found out we were in error, we applied for a variance.
Okay.
We didn't mean to put the cart before the horse.
Okay. Thank you. With that, please stand by. And I will do a call to the public for anybody that wishes to comment on this variance request.
We do have a caller on the line, Mr. Huber. Caller, if you'd like to speak, please press *9 on your keypad, and that will alert us that you would like to speak. Again, that feature is *9. Okay, we do have a caller that would like to speak. Caller, I'm going to ask to unmute your line. Press *6 to unmute and begin speaking. Please state your name and address for the record. Go ahead, caller.
Hi, my name is Susan Considine. I live at 870 North Main, representing Villa del Lago. There's about, I'm on the board, and we've got about 40 units that are south of this property. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, we've looked at this. We have a little bit of a concern of the precedence of giving it a variance for the front of the property. While I understand that the homeowners have made a choice to have their property face the lake, still from a variance perspective, you're asking for a variance. We've got property to the south of us, and there's going to be developments that are going to be going on right in front of us. And we feel that this is going to set a precedent for properties all the way around us if you will permit this variance. And we also are looking at it, when we look at the variance sheet, it says uniqueness. Is your lot unique in terms of size and shape? Well, they said yes, but I would suggest no when you take a look at that, when you look at the property. Can the property be reasonably be used in a manner consistent with the requirements of the zoning ordinance? The answer is yes. Is the variance, if the variance is denied, would you be denied privilege enjoyed in the neighboring properties? They said yes. I'm not really sure how that could be a yes. It appears to me no when I take a look at the pictures. Is there a need for the variance created by your own actions? Yes, which they've already attested to. Will the variance, if approved, have an adverse effect on the property values of adjoining properties? I think you could argue both ways. I don't think it's in a residential, it's a positive to have a shed in the front of a property, right? So that's yet to be determined. I would agree with number 6 that said no. Is the variance contrary to the intent and purpose of the zoning ordinance? It says, I don't think so. And I would say clearly yes. Is the variance requested because of your personal or economical hardship rather than unique physical situation and the particular property? They said no, you could only go with that. And does the variance constitute the minimum action necessary to permit reasonable use of land and building? I would say no to that also. I mean, they do have a double wide lot. And if you look at their property and where it's situated, they could have put it next to the building. They could put it what would be perceived as the back of their building. I just don't think it's in line with why a variance would be approved.
Well, if I can just clarify a few issues. When you say back of the building, do you mean on the lake side?
Well, isn't that truly the back of the building? Even though they face their front to get the benefit of the lake, that is a physical design and a choice that was made by the building.
Well, I'm just trying to clarify, make sure I understand what you're saying. So you're saying the shed could be put on the lake side of the residential structure.
It could, or it could be put on the side so that it wasn't basically in the front yard.
Okay, and another point you made is you were concerned about setting precedent, but there are numerous auxiliary buildings that are located in the front yard, on hillside, garages, etc. So I guess I'm wondering what precedent you're concerned about that hasn't already been established, if so to speak.
So I don't equate a garage and a shed, but maybe you do. I don't. Garages are traditionally in the front of the house and they're within the setbacks of the house, but I don't view a garage and a shed to be equated.
Well, I'm just, okay, to me, I'm just looking at structure, the word structure, be it a shed, garage, auxiliary building, whatever.
I don't equate them all, sir. I think you and I would have.
Okay, anything else you wish to say?
At this time, no.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there any other person that would like to comment on this particular issue?
There are no other public callers on the line at this time, Mr. Huber.
Okay, thank you. In that regard, I would like to read a letter submitted to me. This is from Carl Walzer, 1156 Hillside Drive. And it reads as follows. I think the variance should be granted. Lots of homes on our street have one or more structures in their quote front unquote yard. Since for us lake dwellers, it's more of a backyard. Besides that, we have the wooded township property on the other side of the street. So only people that see that said structure are residents driving by, and we shouldn't care. Please let me know if this will be entered into the September 9th meeting or if I have to attend and say it. With that,
Hey, Dick,
yes, sir.
we got another late one sent to us today after I came to see you for this case.
Okay, please read it.
This is from Doug Reed, 970 Hillside. Please share with the variance board and township officials. We are in support of the variance request. This is an improvement for the neighborhood. We are more concerned about the 2 abandoned homes and the structures and trash on township property that has been attracting vandals and theft in the neighborhood. We are unable to join the meeting, but wanted to share our thoughts.
Thank you, Tim. With that, we will close the public hearing section of this application review. And we'll go back to, is it Norma, Jean? Is that who we're talking to?
Yes.
Yes. So I will open this up for board discussion. Any
When I was out
questions?
at the property, I noticed that the slope of the property towards the lake was fairly severe. I didn't see how a shed could be put on that side unless that a section of that was re-excavated.
Okay.
May I speak?
Yes, go ahead,
Go ahead,
Norma.
I'm sorry.
I'm thinking that the lady who called in is assuming that the lot next to us is our property, and it's not. So that may be why she thought it could go on the side of our house.
Okay. Any other questions from board members?
Real quick question for probably Tim. I'm curious what the side yard setback is in this zoning area.
10.
10? Thank you.
If it's this big.
Is there any bearing if there was a structure there prior to the new shed? Like an old garage that they removed to put the shed up?
I think that helps, but it's not there anymore. But on hand page written 59 shows a parcel sketch from 2015 with a frame garage in the front.
Norma, can you comment on that, please?
Yes, there was a garage there, and it just kind of caved into itself.
And you removed it when, Norma?
What was it, 2009? Yeah, I think it was 2009.
Okay. Other questions?
This is Norma. Is there any reason why the shed cannot go next to the house on the south side of the house?
That's where the septic field is. Oh, the south side is the well.
Okay, that's what I needed to know. It's not on this diagram. And I didn't remember I remember the septic, but I didn't remember the well.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
So the whole property in the front is all slopes down towards the water?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Patty, what my recollection is there's 5-6 feet of level terrain before it goes straight down to the water from the front doors of the house, if there's 5 feet.
Yeah, and you don't want it at your front door, I'm sure.
Probably not.
right?
Norma,
No.
Next.
go ahead, Norma.
Oh, I was just answering her. No, we don't want it at the front door. There isn't enough room.
Yeah, okay.
Right, I understand that.
Is, if I recall, your house, your residence is white, is that correct?
Yes.
Is there a reason that you didn't paint this structure white to be consistent and less obvious?
Honesty, we purchased it on clearance and that's the color it came in.
Okay. I would, just from my viewpoint, and this is strictly my viewpoint, but as I look at the other garage buildings, auxiliary buildings along the street, regardless of their state or condition, they are generally speaking consistent with the colors of the residents. And for those people that might find this structure objectionable, if it would be less obvious, I believe, if it was painted consistent with your residence. Would that be an issue?
No.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'd ask that we look at finding of facts.
Okay. We will proceed. If there are no objections with finding of facts.
I'll start out. The property is unique that all the properties on Hillside Drive, the houses are placed and constructed in such a way to maximize the view of the lake. The back side of the house, which is actually the front yard, has typically been used for parking and garages and auxiliary structures. And there's been a long history along Hillside Drive and other areas of the township of lake living to where we permit structures of this type in the front yard of the homes.
I will add to this that due to the side yard setback requirements, especially from the north side of the structure and the septic field that exists there, the well on the south side of the house, and then the very steep drop off on the east side, which is towards the lake, putting an accessory structure would be prohibitively difficult in any place other than what is considered the front yard on the hillside drive of the home.
I would also add that there was an existing structure on this parcel located generally where the shed currently exists, and that the placement of this shed is, practically speaking, a replacement for the former structure. The former structure being removed back in 2009. I have a question of the board, if you will allow me. Am I the only one that thinks that if a variance would be granted, that the color should be more consistent with the existing residential structure?
I think that's up to the homeowner. I mean, that's not part of our variance to have exterior buildings match the residence. It's not in an ordinance.
Well, no, but in granting the variance, it is to have such structures in keeping with the architecture of the area, and that's certainly the fact that, from my standpoint, the particular color really stands out. But if I am the only board member that feels that way, if there are no other comments on that, we will continue.
Okay.
Would probably prefer to see it match, but they could paint the house to match the shed, since the shed is brand new. Well, the shed is brand new.
I would leave that up to a home decision. Board should be,
Okay.
It's a homeowner decision. I agree.
Are there any more findings of fact?
Yes, there was one caller that opposed and one email or a letter that Tim received that support the variance.
There's actually 2 supports and 1
Two support, yep.
Oh, there
object.
were 2?
Yes, the one that I read. So Tim read one, I read one, so there were 2 in support and 1 call in the negative.
Okay.
I would
Do
make
I-
a motion to approve V 20005 with the, for Robert Beagle and Norma Jean Caskey.
Second,
Okay, we have a motion. We have a motion that's seconded. Let's do a roll call vote, starting with Linda.
Aye. Yes.
Dale,
Yes,
Patty,
Aye.
Neil,
yes,
Ed,
Yes,
Patty. Oh, wait,
Yes.
I hit you, didn't I? Yeah.
You did.
Keith?
Yes,
Okay, and myself, yes. So the motion is passed and the variance is granted.
Thank you.
good luck.
Thank you.
Next, we have V20-006, Robert Weiss, Wixom Trail. Do I hear a motion to hear this petition?
so moved.
I will move to hear the petition 20006.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
aye.
Opposed? Okay. Is it Mr. Weiss who's on? Yes.
Yes, it is.
Mr. Weiss, would you please give us a short summation of why you need, why you are asking for this variance request?
Yes, I have a travel trailer that because of the topography of my land, it's impossible without major expense to move it to a place where it conforms with the ordinance. And I can also say that the trailer is about 200 feet off the road, and at no angle does it obscure the view of my home. And there's a lot of vegetation, and for what it's worth, I would like to store my trailer on my property. And I just believe that given the lot shape and the topography, I cannot conform with the ordinance as written.
Okay, thank you. With that, we'll do a general call to the public for anybody wishing to comment on this variance application request.
There are no calls from the public in this meeting at this time, Mr. Huber.
Okay, thank you. With that,
Move.
I am in possession of a letter from Bruce Dublin of 1822 Wixom Trail. It states the following: please know that I am in full support of the request for zoning variance by Mr. Robert Weiss at 1892 Wixom Trail, parcel L 1611-401-042. I have no concerns and am in favor of his zoning variance request regarding ordinance 196, section 32, 584. With that, we will, if there are no other comments, we will close the public call to the public and go back to Mr. Weiss so the board can question. Please go ahead, board.
Mr. Weiss, I know on the north side of your house, you have a shed and your well is directly behind the shed.
That's correct.
So accessing the backyard from that side is out of the question. You go to the north side of your house, I'm looking at a drop from, say, the front grade of your driveway to the rear of your house of probably almost 25 feet. Am I correct on that?
That's correct.
Is there any practical way to bring a trailer down a 25 foot slope and park
Not-
in the backyard and get it back?
Not with my truck, no. Yeah.
I haul a lot of equipment and, you know, haul RVs too in my business. And I'll tell you what, I cannot see you getting, you may get the vehicle down there, but I don't know if you'll ever get it back out.
Yeah, I think you're right. Not to mention the ponds are there too. It might end up in the drink.
Mr. Weiss, when I was at your place, I didn't see the RV. Was it off the property at the time? This was probably 3-4 days ago.
Oh, yes, yes. We were up camping.
Okay.
So we were out.
All right.
You should have seen the wood chips that were in front of the shed, and that's where I've been.
That's what I assumed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Todd,
So,
how many times a year do you use that?
Oh, we use it probably at least once a month through spring through fall.
so Mr. Weiss, is there any reason why you can't store this trailer off your property?
Well, the obvious reason is cost, and looking into that, the cost is roughly at the low end $75 and at the high end $90 a month, and so the cost is the big deal. But secondly, having the unit on site allows me maintenance ease.
So the hardship then is a financial hardship?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would also like to understand, there is property here. In the front of the house, as I look at the diagram, there's a septic field, so you couldn't put it there. And as was pointed out by Mr. Dale, that you really can't go around the north side of the house. And on the south side of the house, you have a well and a shed. And it doesn't seem to me that there is an appropriate place on this property where you could meet the ordinance in terms of having it in the rear of the house. And I can understand the desire to having it on your property. So I'm a little bit flummoxed as to where else you could stick it on the property, if anywhere.
I didn't see any place that you could put it and keep it concealed from the roadway. I mean, if you're gonna put it anywhere, you have to move it out farther, closer to the roadway, which would become more noticeable and probably objectionable to the neighbors as well. Where he has it parked next to tree line in front of the shed there, it's pretty well concealed. You have to really look for it from the road and you couldn't see it.
Is that letter from your neighbor directly to the north?
You know, it's funny. It's funny. I've never met him. So he's obviously watching the papers, and he spoke on my behalf. I have to send him a thank you letter. So yes, he is to the north. Yes, a couple houses down.
How many houses? 2 houses. Thank you.
And the people right next door to you have never commented on it?
No, as a matter of fact, before I made this application, I talked to each of them to determine if they had objections to it, and consensus was no.
Well, was there anyone that was in in opposition?
No, no,
Okay.
I wouldn't have applied. I'm not that
Okay.
candidate. Yeah.
All right.
Chairman, I'd call for the findings of fact.
Okay, we will proceed without any objection to finding the facts.
The topography of the property does not allow movement of the trailer to the rear of the property due to the slope and the location of the pond between the house and where the roadway would go and the pond.
Then on the north side of the house, or on the south side of the house, rather, you have a wellhead there. You also have the shed in the way, and topography leading down to the back is not practical to be able to move a RV, travel trailer, or even a vehicle up and down safely.
The construction, let me rephrase that. The geometry of the residential parcel is such that the house sets significantly back on the parcel, and that the proposed location for the trailer storage in the front yard is such that it is obscured from the Wixom Road area.
The proposed site of the trailer is also about 200 feet off of Wixom Trail to its west in front of the house. The house sits about 320 feet away from the road.
Anything else from the board? If I can make a suggestion, if we were to approve this variance, I would suggest that the motion state that the variance is being granted based on the schematic drawing of where the RV would be located. The reason I say that is theoretically it could be moved up further towards Wixom Road along the driveway, which might not be so obscured. Having said that, if there are no other comments, I'll ask for a motion.
I move we approve V 20-006.
Support.
I would amend that motion to include that it's approved based on the diagram provided by the petitioner to locate the trailer approximately 200 feet off of Wixom Trail behind the trees that are in front of the driveway.
We have do we have a second to that amendment?
Yes.
Support.
Support?
Yeah, Keith.
Okay. We have a motion that's supported. We'll do a roll call vote. Linda?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Patty?
Aye.
Neil?
Aye.
Ed? Ed, was that an aye?
Yes.
Keith?
Aye.
And myself, aye. With that, motion is passed, variance is granted. Good luck, Mr. Weiss.
Thank you so much for your consideration and understanding. Have a good night. Thank you.
You too.
Thank you.
But
Do I hear a motion for V 20-007 Benjamin and Hetty Felton, 3467 West Buno Road?
So moved.
All
Support.
those in favor, please say aye.
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 Okay, we will proceed. Who do we have here with us? We have Mr. Felton.
Yes, good
Okay.
evening, everyone. Ben Felton here. I've got my wife, Hetty, with me. We're at
Okay.
8467.
Would you please give us a very quick synopsis of why you are requesting this variance request?
I certainly will. The way our home sits on our property, we're roughly 800 feet off the road. We'd like to get a garage built that would store our fifth wheel. We've got a tractor. We've got some other toys. Access to the backyard is impractical, as I think each one of you has been out here. We've got a significant amount of landscaping to the east, and then trying to navigate around the house to get to the rear on the west side. We've got our septic system and drainage fills out there and everything. So our request is that we would be allowed to position a garage, which is stated would be the front yard, the way we're situated between us and Buno Road. Got to push back in such a fashion that it will not obscure the visibility, the front of the home, and it won't be obvious to any of the neighbors.
Okay, thank you. With that, we'll do a call to the public for anybody who would wish to comment on this variance application.
There are no callers on the line at this time, Mr. Huber.
Okay, thank you. I do have a letter in front of me from, it looks like Alan and Bridget Smith. Who are located at 3455 West Buno Road. It reads as follows: we will not attend a township meeting on this subject due to COVID concerns and wish to have our voices heard. We live next door to the subject parcel and recommend the township approve the zoning variance to allow the Feltons to construct a detached garage between the house and the street. The proposed building will be far from the street and only visible from our home. We have no concerns. Thank you for your consideration. In the absence of any other comments, we'll close the call to the public portion and we will
Hey, Dick?
proceed. Yes,
You had two letters of correspondence.
And actually, I have three.
thank you.
Barbara Jensen.
Yes, my error. Thank you for catching my error. We have a second letter from a Barbara Jensen, located at 3425 West Buno Road. On September 1st, I visited Benjamin and Hetty Felton to discuss their property in regards to their request for a variance from ordinance 196, section 32-572-3. My home is located one property to the east of their home and property. After a very thorough examination of their property and discussion with them regarding their need for a variance, I am in favor of approval by the ZBA. Their home/property is one separated directly to the west, north, and south from adjoining properties by densely wooded and unoccupied land, and two, it is also not visible from West Buno Road. The homes to the east are also separated from their property by the Felton's line of large, mature, and well-maintained trees. The east side of the property is too narrow to access a garage and would require removal of both the above-mentioned tree line and also a very large retaining wall. Hence, I believe the location in which they have staked to build their garage is the best option, and I am in support of the variance being granted. Thank you. Thanks, Tim, for catching that. With that, and no other comments, we will close the call to the public portion of the meeting and proceed with questions by the board.
Hey, Dick, can I interrupt you again?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Felton would like to amend his request to increase the size of the garage some. I know we've had that in the past where we approve a plan that's submitted, so I wanted that to be discussed up front so he could be heard on the size of the garage he wants and intends to build. So Ben, tell the folks what size that's going to be now.
Yeah, so it's moving from the original 32 by 48 to 36 by 56. If you all each visited the property, the stakes were out there. I had two sets of stakes on the very back side, would be the west side, that just basically extended it just so that you could see that it's moving further back into the woods versus the front of the yard. So the front of the garage is positioned in the same fashion of the home. And just after considering building it to what I need today, I thought I'd maybe upsize it a little bit just to assure that I have some plenty of room for future growth of toys or whatever. So
We want to move it from 32 by 48 to
36 by 56.
not,
And those were the same stakes that you looked at out there.
not a huge increase.
Tim, what is the maximum size of auxiliary square footage?
2,500. So a 60 by 42, I think.
Okay.
That's about the biggest, 60 by 42 and a quarter or something.
So it fits within our guidelines then.
Yes.
2016.
Mr. Fountain, did I hear you say that the structure, if it was to be built, would be consistent with your home?
That is correct. We're going to have Walter Pikeak Builders construct it. It will have the brick veneer and the EFA siding and the same roof line that we have at our home. So it'll be exactly matching to our house.
Okay. How long have you, just for my own edification, how long have you lived there?
Since May 10th. We just moved here on May 10th. Yep, I'm Senior Vice President with DTE, so relatively new to the community. We moved from Stevensville, Michigan, over near St. Joe. And so we've been here roughly 4 months now.
Well, welcome to the neighborhood.
Thank you.
Welcome to Milford.
Glad to be here. Yes.
COVID started.
Yes.
Are there?
Mr. Felton, when was the home built?
2018.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I can make one quick comment. Where Mr. Felton wants to construct the garage / building structure, whatever we're going to classify it as, he's actually enhancing the property. There's a couple of, I believe they're walnut trees right there where you're going to be putting a structure. 3 of them appear to be dead or very close to being dead.
Yep.
So, and if you don't remove black walnut trees when they're dead, they will continue to attack other trees in the area. So I think he's doing the neighbors and everything great justice by removing them and put a structure in its place without destroying more trees on the backside of the property.
Thank you.
Are there other comments by members of the board? I'm sorry, Neil, what'd you say?
Given the location of where this house and proposed structure is so far off the road, I didn't really see a problem with it.
Okay. Should we go to finding the facts?
My request, yes.
Okay, if there are no objections, let us proceed with finding the facts.
It's very wooded. The neighbors or anyone passing by won't see the garage.
Yeah, the house is and garage is about 800 feet off of Buno Roads and very secluded.
I would add to that the possibilities of locating this structure on the parcel is remote, that this is the most plausible. And for the record, it should also be noted that this appears to be a parcel which has subsequently been prohibited. That is, it's a flagged lot, and with the residential structure sitting at the deepest point possible for construction. Again, supporting the need for this requested auxiliary structure to be located as plotted.
I would specifically mention that any location of the structure going back towards the rear of the house along the west side of the property would be prohibitive because of drainage and septic.
I would also like to add to the record that we have 2 statements from the neighbors stating that they are in favor of this variance request. If there aren't any other comments, we'll close the finding of facts. Do I hear any motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion that we approve B 20-007 as presented with the amendments to the size of 36 by 56.
Support.
Do I hear support? We have a motion with support to accept this variance application of V 20-007. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Roll call.
Aye.
Roll call,
Sorry. My old habits. Sorry. Linda.
Aye.
Dale.
Yes.
Patty.
Aye.
Neil.
Aye.
Keith.
Aye.
Ed.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Ed, what?
Yes.
And myself, yes. With that, the motion passes. Variance is granted. Good luck, Mr. Felton.
Thank you all. I appreciate your time.
Okay.
Bye.
You took some good advice, and that is building it bigger than you think and bigger as you could possibly do it, because it's never big enough.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
You all be careful. Be safe.
You too.
Keep the lights on.
Okay, do I hear a motion to review for approval the minutes of February 19th, 2020?
So moved.
Okay, let us proceed.
Second.
Any comments on the minutes?
Okay, I'm confused because I'm looking for minutes from February 19th and I haven't found them.
Yeah,
I
they're
didn't
not.
receive them either.
I didn't get minutes.
Neither did
I
I.
have a set of draft minutes from February 12th and I have a set of minutes from March 11th, but I don't see anything from February 19th.
Well, Keith, you know, I'm looking at this and I'm saying, do you want to approve the minutes? And I'm saying to myself, hell, I haven't got anything in my package, but I figured I was the only one. Okay, then I guess we won't bother approving those.
I thought I had them and I was mistaken. So I would move that we table approving the minutes till we have them to review for next meeting.
And I'm just going to make the assumption that that is a unanimous request. So with that, I will do a call to the public one more time for any comments.
There are no public on the line at this time, Mr. Huber.
Thank you, sir. So with that, we will proceed to board member remarks. Any comments?
I would just like to say that for a first time effort, that this has gone very well. And Ken, thank you for keeping us all on track, and Tim keeping everybody in order in terms of way things are being done. And Richard, great job.
And
Thank you,
nice
sir.
job.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, just a few blunders on my part, but I'll get better. Okay, with that, I have a motion for adjournment, don't I?
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You all have a good night.
You
Good
too.
night.
Thanks,
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Nice
you.
meeting you.
Thanks.
Other
Right.
than the other than the one that we postponed, are there any others for October, Tim?